Apa kabar, Danamon Optimal customers? Welcome to the 8th volume of Danamon LiveOptimal seminar series. My name is Dea Pranatania, and I will be your host for the next 60 minutes. If you are familiar with this talk show, I have been interviewing some of the key players behind the successful businesses. So Danamon LiveOptimal seminar is an exclusive seminar series for Danamon Optimal customers, and this event is packed with inspiring topics from the perspective of prominent leaders. So they will share their experiences, especially for you millennials, and you can tailor your life, optimizing your life through Danamon Optimal, #optimalkan hidupmu. For more information, you can visit liveoptimal.id. And when it comes to millennials, there are a few categories that they prioritize in their lifestyle. The majority of millennials are focused more on price, practicality, and personality. And the cost of living has hit the generation so hard, especially during pandemic. And this is why you will find not many are willing or even able to invest in a new car, and will instead take advantage of buying or even selling used cars. So Carsome has been present in Indonesia since 2017. Carsome introduces us a new process that will change the second-hand car buying procedure entirely. And the new process will not only make second-hand car buying simpler, but also offer car buyers a peace of mind. It is a whole new digitalized process. And today, I have the privilege to speak with Eric Cheng, co-founder and group CEO of Carsome, and we'll discuss about how to turn used cars into opportunities. So almost everybody looks up to successful CEOs and business leaders, and there's something about a successful leader that is inherently admirable. We all want to know what makes them tick, where they source their energy, and what has propelled their success. And sometimes it's not exactly what you think. So to find that out, let's greet Eric Cheng, the co-founder and group CEO of Carsome.
Thank you, Dia.
Hello
everyone. Hi, how are you?
Eric. Good. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to be over here at this virtual event as well.
Wow. In this difficult time, amid the COVID-19 pandemic, more people prefer not to take public transport or even ride sharing as safety measures. So consumers are likely to see used cars as a cost-conscious investment, right? So how has the COVID-19 changed used car sectors, Eric?
So I think in many ways, right, it has been we have been a net beneficiaries on the pandemic situation. You've seen a lot of people moving out from taking public transport to private vehicle ownership, and I think that is due to mainly the safety. Everyone's trying to be at a private space that can give you the peace of mind, and then that in turn also drive up a lot of pent-up demand when it comes to the used car sector, especially when you compare to the new car is a lot more affordable.
Right, but since your business is in automotive sector, is anything related to your hobby, your business?
So I think at the heart of it, I'm always passionate about entrepreneurship. So that's what drives me to create Carsome. And actually, it's the third company that I've started. Initially, I have first and second. There was almost all digital. But I think at the same time, my passion, my hobby is a lot to concentrate with creating really sound solution to benefit the people around us, right? So I think creating the product that make you better off is something that I've been, gearing towards to do in my life. When it comes to car, how I have, see it always is it's a tool of convenience. It's a tool of mobility as well. And you're able to use it for many purposes, for work, for leisure, and I think that's what car essentially is, right? For myself. And I think one of the reasons why I have started this business is when it comes to owning a car in the market, I think the process of buying and selling car, especially in the used car sector, has always been very traditional, right? So it's funny, right? A car is giving you that convenience, but when it comes to buying or selling it, it's never convenient, right? So I think that is basically marred by the distrust that you're seeing in the used car sector. A lot of it lacks the transparency. Like you usually hear story that people take months to sell a car because they don't know a standard procedure of selling. And they need to go through like a lot of physical visits when it comes to talking to dealers, and trying to get rid of their cars, and making sure that they get a good price for the car, which there's no reference point for you to know where to get a good price and what is the market price. And it's the same process when you look at buying a used car in the market, right? So there's a lot of prices that you see online. At the same time, when you land over at a dealership and test drive it, you will notice that at the end of the transactions, there will have a lot of hidden fees involved as well. So I think
Right.
these are the kind of process where there's a lot of hassles, a lot of
Right.
headaches. And that's where I think we founded Carsome to tackle all of this issue once and for all and give you a hassle-free experience.
As you mentioned about being in a hassle, right? So how did you manage uncertainty in early stages of your business?
And I think in the beginning, right, the way we started the business was very much about creating a car site with a lot of information on your car specification. So what we thought was essential in the beginning was giving you a full understanding of the car that you're going to purchase, right? And I think through that platform where we first started off in the first year, we noticed that a lot of people at the same time are asking us the other questions, which is, can you help me to actually sell or purchase my car? All right. So I think that was the fundamental point where we see it's important to actually pursue the pain points that people are facing, the issues that people are facing in the markets that we operate in, right? And I think that pushes us to deliver and trying to find a way to deliver a good experience when it comes to selling, which is how we implemented the inspection process, the ownership transfer within an hour, so payment as well. So I think a lot of those is to aim towards delivering on the same principle, which is trying to provide a good customer experience, but instead of providing informations, we are tackling on the entire transaction process.
Right, because there has been an old perception in the car market that dealers and salesmen are always trying to rip you off, right? It's so much headaches, and so how do you bridge the trust gap in the market between the the dealers, the salesmen, and the buyers?
Yeah. So I think if you look at the platform, right, on the selling end, the way we provide that transparency and putting you in control is we provide inspection on the car. So we let you know the full understanding of your car condition and how much you'll be able to fetch in the market. And we enable your car to be sold across the entire country, right? So from say Jakarta, you're trying to sell a car, you get your car into one of our checkpoint. We'll be able to at the same time push this car into a nationwide offer places where dealers across like Bandung, Surabaya, they'll be also able to offer your car, purchase your car. So that's the entire selling process, which again, our also it could be completed including the payment.
Do you get to test drive the cars, or is it just all online basis?
So that's on the selling end. So on the purchasing ends, what we believe is we putting the entire pre-sales exercise, like for example, viewing the car, test driving a car, everything we are trying to move it online so that on our site you have the 360 pictures. You'll be able to at the same time look at all the car condition of each and every car. So and I think all prices that you see online on our site has no hidden fee. So what you see is what you are forking out, and then we take over the process of getting the loan, the insurance, warranty, and so on. So that is the kind of transparency we provide, which if you will walk into a dealerships and all, or you're talking to a salesman, probably the kind of experience that you get would be inconsistent, which is why we felt the digitalizing of the process is a lot on getting to know about your car that you're going to purchase.
Wow, it's very handy. So but some customers they want to continue to interact in person, right? And especially in Indonesia, test drive up to so many like 10 cars. How do you manage that?
Well, it's the same, right? Like, I mean, it's the same across Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia. We all want to feel the car, right? So, and and I think the truth is, test driving for a car in 10 minutes doesn't really help in making a decision a lot more
Right.
sound because there's only like a few minutes that you can really get to know about your car. So a lot of the time that if you spend with buying a car with us is you'll be spending online where you get to browse through the car condition, the 360 virtual tour, the pictures and all. And secondly, we allow test drive as well. So you can book at one of our center and then you can actually test drive the car and feel it, right? And whether this car would be the car that you are seeing yourself driving every day. And I think that is the process that we're trying to minimize, that the moment you get to a test drive, you already know more than half of the car that you need to know about it. And that this is the last point that you need to make. And I think to really top it off is we also provide a home delivery option, which means after you purchase a car to us, we get it home delivered to you. And I think that is one of the complete package when it comes to giving you the best experience possible when purchasing a car.
Yeah, the online experience also removes the high pressure situations, at dealers, which many consumers prefer to avoid, right? Like you got to buy, like you got to sign, right? So, yeah, you've been everywhere. Do you think Indonesia is like the biggest market in Asia?
Oh, definitely. I think Indonesia has always been a really strong market, right? And I think in terms of volume-wise, also is one of the biggest in the region. So we've been very laser focused in building our presence and trying to bring this to more cities. As of right now, we're in I think about 10 plus cities within Indonesia, which cover Java Island and also some areas in Sumatra. But there's definitely a lot more places that we should go to, right? And I think that's one of the plans right now for us in Indonesia.
So what would you say are the biggest differences between Indonesia and other countries when it comes to used car industry and trend?
I think, to be honest, right, it's a lot. It's very similar. Like the pain point that you face, like haggling with, negotiating with the salesman, and trying to not get scammed by all the frauds that's happening online and offline. So I think a lot of those has been similar. It's not just happening in Indonesia, but also in other countries. But I think one way to really differentiate it is the way we communicate to the consumers, right? Like what works in, like, say, Thailand. Like Thailand is a lot about video creative ads that you see, like in 30 seconds they have a lot of video content, where what's like Malaysia, for example, is a lot about on Google, on search, where people search for very strong intent of what they want to do. So I think there's a very different way when it comes to the communication to consumers. Ultimately, they have the same problem, the same headache when it comes to buying and selling, right? But the way you communicate and reach out, what kind of value proposition you are bringing on the ground, on the table for your consumers is very important to showcase that. Yeah.
So what obstacles have you faced during the expansion of Carsome in Indonesia, and how have you overcome them?
I think COVID has always been an issue. So why I say that is, I think the hardest thing with or without COVID, right, is engaging with the people that you have in a company. And like right now, for example, we have about 1,000 people across the 4 markets, right? Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand. Also in Singapore, we have an office. Even in China, Beijing as well, we have a tech hub. So how do you actually keep all these people engaging at the same time and understand what the company is trying to reach, right? As one common goal. That has always been an obstacle. And I think pandemic sort of changed that shift the gear a little bit, where instead of trying to meet them, fly in to host town hall and talk to everyone with drinks and makan. I think a lot of it now very focused in the like virtual calls like this. It actually, although it lacks the physical social element that you get to interact face to face, right? But I think it's still a really good tool to engage with a team. But it remains to be a big challenge, right? To keep everyone engaged. Yeah.
Right. So from your perspective, how can we use our used car as the opportunity to have an additional income?
Sure. I think if you look at it this way, right, in Southeast Asia especially, public transport has always been very poor as the infrastructure here is still very at a nascent point. So in other words, is without a car, without your private vehicle, it's hard for you to travel from point A to point B or to multiple points, because with public transport, usually it takes a few hours for you to spend in a day just to commute, right? And I think if we are able to enable someone to own a car, with affordable price, able to help them to get the transparency in that, it kind of changes the kind of their life and prospect, right? Especially in the point of a person being a lot more productive. And I think with that being said, that also in turn help you to explore more channels, more avenue to gain additional income. And for us is, as a company in that position, if we talk about enabling that car purchase process, car ownership, right? We're all about improving the transaction process. So if we could get a car a lot faster, a lot more affordable, and at the same time give you a pleasant experience, then in turn we also improve that social mobility, right? Between the markets that we're in right now.
So as Carsome grows, how are the dealers impacted by the company and its products?
I think the net in the industry right now, a lot of it has been positive. Firstly, on the market standpoint, demands are picking up, right? So a lot of demands are picking up in the market. People are trying to get their own private vehicle, and that shows in the many other markets right now in the world as well, that the used car industry sales has been a lot more superior compared to the year before pandemic. Right. And I think secondly, dealers are benefiting from the fact that there's a lot more pent-up demand in the market. And from our platform, because firstly, they're able to source car supply. So all these cars that we purchase from the car owners are then distributed and sold to dealers across the entire country. Right. So in turn, it enables them to purchase cars without seeing it physically. So like, for example, in Surabaya, they can purchase a car from our platform and we get it delivered to their dealership doorstep. Right. And then that focus on selling to the local customers, to the local market. Right. And on the B2C end also, we are creating the trust element, right? Because I think for the past 50 years in the industry for used car, it has been largely traditional. And a lot of distrust that's being marred in the market it doesn't really represent the dealers, all the dealers in the market. Right? There's a lot of forward-thinking dealers at the same time trying to inject a really healthy image of how you would think about looking at a used car dealer, right? And I think there's a lot of dealers at the same time have the buy-in at this movement and wanted to build a professional image across the board, right, for the car industry. So yeah. So I read somewhere it said that approximately 40,000 cars are transacted on the Carsome annually, right? So this equates to the transaction of around 1 every 10 minutes. Is that true? That's true. Yeah, and that is that's 2019. Yeah, so in 2020 we actually close to double that volume. So post and pre-pandemic, we have 2x the revenue that we have done, and I think that has gone up to quite a sizable. So as of right now, on an annualized basis, we are transacting about 70,000 cars in a year, and then that translates into about in US dollars $600 million of transacted value. Yeah, so I think we have gone up quite a fair bit. Probably now it has become from 10 minutes to 6 minutes. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So, but the thing is, one of my concerns is, when you buy a used car, you have all kinds of questions, especially in Indonesia. A lot of shady things happen, right? So, things that in your head would be how long it's been on the lot, whether the car has been in an accident or, banjir, right? Flood. So, how do you manage the shadiness of the car owners and, the honesty behind the cars?
Yeah. So I think that's what we're very proud of, right? I think we started in 2015 and now coming to the sixth year. All this while we've been able to build a really strong inspection standard in the market. What it means is every car that we have
Are Indonesians?
inspection process.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
So we check every car that sell through our platform.
Mhm.
And imagine that the when we do the selling process, right? We need to check the car. Every single car have to pass through the inspection process, which we would know inside out of a car how healthy it is, or if there's any damages and whatnot, we'll be able to detect it as well, right? So I think all these are very important because when it comes to trying to sell a car to the consumer, we have to firstly recondition the cars, all right? And because of all the data that we have gathered through all the transactions that we have done, all the inspections that we have checked on every car, it helps us to understand better as well what kind of car conditions we would expect from each and every model, even depending on their age as well, like 3 years old, 5 years old, Avanza, for example, right? So, and I think in turn, that gives us that understanding to know how to repair it, how to recondition it to back to a good condition, a tip-top condition before we will sell it to an owner, right? And I think to basically complete the entire experience is, you have heard me saying that we have the 360 pictures online. You can just spin the car like that online, and you can book for a test drive. One of the other things that we do at the same time is the 5 days money back guarantee. And it means you can test own the car at the same time. You know,
Right.
you purchase the car, you drive it after a few days, and as long as it's within the 5 days, you could return the car to us without any questions asked. For example, if you bought the car and you think that the boot that cannot fit your
Right. Right.
stuff that you have, you can return it within the 5 days as well. So that's something that we want to make sure that you are actually buying a car that fits into your life. Yeah.
As you mentioned earlier about data, it's really interesting because I really admire your answer on one of the interviews. You said, I've seen many founders build a business based on what they believe, but lack consistent monitoring of data and performance. So how does your ethical framework influence the way you run your business?
Well, we are very data driven as a business, right? Or as a company. Like a lot of times that we find is the issues or the challenges that we are facing, the problems, all can be solved by analyzing the data and trying to find a solution out of it. Because it's the best way for you to understand whether you're doing it right or wrong. All right, through that. We have thankfully a lot of people within the company also are very eager to solve all of these very difficult problems. And I think this is by really injecting a belief when it comes to, we have a mission to kind of change the entire industry image. And at the back of it is, we have all these data science people, you have all these operational people who truly believe in looking at data and trying to understand how they can improve their productivity or their conversion, right? A lot of it has always drive the business. And if you quantify what are the success, I think one key thing that I would point you to is the way we position our business as very data driven one.
Cool. So how has your marketing evolved over time?
I think a lot of communications has been optimized or changed, right? Based
Right.
on our understanding in the local markets, and even it extend to the medium that we choose, the channels that we use. Like for example, we are very big on digital, but I think within the digital space, like you have your social media, you have your search, you have also your content, like the blogs on the news sites and all, right. And I think a lot of the effort has been spent in terms of trying to optimize the right channel and to drive the kind of return for the business or the company's awareness. So each and every country that we're in, we utilize very different type of creatives or very different type of channels to send out a message. Like I mentioned about Thailand, it's a lot about video content. And that has kind of been that whole video first approach when it comes to doing something successful on the marketing side for Thailand, and then you have Malaysia, Indonesia, which Malaysia is more focused on digital online. Getting the content right, people like to read, and they want to be informative or get the latest right through
What about Indonesia?
Indonesia is a mixture, right? You need to make sure that at the same time the recall of the brand is strong, so it can be through the video or it can be through the content. But I think altogether is that recall rate has to be complement with some of the I think offline approach, which is some doing events on the ground, which is something that we can't do most in the current situation. But I think even like press like PR anger or things like that works very well. So it's a lot of mixture in terms of how we look at Indonesia when trying to gain the market positions and also the awareness.
So I've heard that you've just secured the Series D investment, right?
Yeah,
Series D investment. So how will the new fund strengthen your regional presence?
I think the big push right now for us this year is really bringing the B2C experience to more people. So we've been helping consumers to sell mostly, and in many markets they were in. But on the B2C side, we just really just started our first few centers expansion. So the investments would be mostly going towards the market expansion right now. And also at the same time, being a lot more sophisticated on the way we achieve the data intelligence. So, and I think with that is we are hiring many more people within the team, and to really focus on data tech product. So I think we want to position the customer experience first, right? To make sure that on any way, offline or online, we are able to give you a good experience. And we are having a lot of data within the business that we can analyze. We can find out what would be the best way to do that. So most of the investment would be focused on the market expansion and really achieving a true data intelligence within the market.
Will there be more countries?
I think we're very focused on the countries we're in right now. There are plans to think about going to other parts of Southeast Asia, but as of right now, nothing is it's still very fluid. Like nothing has been set in stone. So mostly the expansion plan in the near term would be in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand.
Right. So what advice would you give to entrepreneurs when they're trying to move abroad, when they're trying to expand your business?
I think first try to understand if you are tackling the right issues in the industry you're in. I think to make sure that that is something that you truly believe in, and it's something that the people around you at the same time also you have to buy in, that this is something that they would be interested to see it coming into fruition. And then next, I think is really just to really invest all your energy or your effort and try to make this work right, because I think it's always easy to start, but it's hard to really maintain that pace and keep that passion or keep that fire right up for a long time. So it's important to ask yourself, right, if I'm going to do this for the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, can I see myself doing that in the long run, right? So I think if you could commit to that extent, there's no doubt you can actually make it.
And as a founder, I'm curious, what is your management style like?
My management style is I think we are very objective, right? I myself, I'm very goal-oriented, and I think being goal-oriented is super important, right? Because personally or professionally, I do that a lot to really keep things on track, right? So I think the moment you have planned a path for yourself or to the business, everyone around you would be able to follow as per the way you think it would be. Like, for example, we apply OKR principle in the business. So we have one clear, very objective of trying to reach. And then when you break it down to different the key results that would drive that objective to be completed, right? How do you distribute that among the people that you have team, right? I think that's kind of the management style that I practice, where people, if you ask them, they will understand if they're in this company what they're trying to achieve, and to achieve that, once it's done, what comes after, right? What is the true milestone they will hit, and which is that big common goal that everyone believes in at the same time. So that is largely my management style.
So, who and what was your biggest teacher? You're so young. You're so young, very successful. You've been everywhere, and so many people respect you. And yeah, tell me about the inspiration behind your success, and who was your biggest teacher?
So thanks for the kind words. So I think I'm still learning as a entrepreneur, right? And always learning. So I can point you to one person, which is you will find very surprising. But I would say, so I think firstly, as a mentor, there's someone that I look up to a lot. Is I watch a lot of football. So
Really?
yeah, so I'm a big time MU fan. I'm not sure if you're here. But yeah, my mentor, my idol was always Eric Cheng, right? Which I like a lot of how he have built a club that to be so successful in the past 10, 20 years. And I think a lot of the principles, a lot of the way he managed the team to the clubs influenced me of the way I'm trying to handle the company at the same time.
Wow.
But the truth is there's a lot of mentors that's trying to help at the same time, like from before and now and even in the future, because every single problem that I see in the business, it requires a different mentor to kind of help you find a solution or guide you to the right path. And I'm thankful that along the way, there's a lot of people who has been very helpful, having the whole pay it forward concept mindset to help me to solve every single part of this very difficult issues, very difficult challenge. And I think, yeah, that's how I've seen the whole mentor ship so far in the past.
So how do you manage the partnership with your co-founder? Like how's your relationship with him?
He's a Liverpool fan, so it looks like we wouldn't be partners at all. But but I think the interesting part is we work along very well. We complement each other, which is something that I'm very thankful of, very grateful of, because after so many years in the business, we are still very passionate with what we are doing. Still believe very strongly of how much more we do for the company as well. So, and I think a lot of the parts or the work we have has been delegated very nicely. Where he's right now very focused on one thing that we call the Carsome Academy, which is focused on training people, upskilling them, and even setting up that the academy as a school. And very soon they will bring it to Malaysia as well. Indonesia as well. And I think on the other hand, I'm trying to make sure that the strategic direction of the business has always been communicated to all the groups, all the people. So I think that was one of the really good relationships that we have between the way we delegate and manage the company so far.
About how many hours a week do you work as a CEO?
I don't actually count it, but I thought I would spend mostly all my time in really thinking about the business. So actual work put in like meetings or doing something like calls, probably like I think 5 days, 6 days sometimes a week. But a lot of time has been spent on thinking about the business, planning strategically. I think that's where the company truly needs, right, from me right now at this point. Being able to guide each and every functions, like as a data team, as a product team, or even a marketing team, right? What do you want to do for the business to see that success? And I come in to play a role to really make sure that we communicate very well, right? And try to sync up each and every one of them, and eventually all of them deliver that whole teamwork quality, right? To get to the final destination. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Carsome with the C2B platform that connects seller with buyers, and it promised used car owners that they can sell their used cars within just 3 days. Is it true?
Yes, yes, yeah. So I think that's how we have started the business, right? We all want to make sure that people could sell their car with ease, and that's how we implemented the car inspection process, ownership transfer, all within a few hours, right? So and I think that enabled us to actually extend our business to a lot more areas, like the recent B2C launch, because the used car market is very different from other markets where your supply are coming from different households. You own a car, someone else might
Right.
own a car, and they're all in different location, different household, different age and different condition, and the ability to really differentiate them, but at the same time aggregate into one single platform is what we truly do best. And I think that's what we are bridging, the gap between the supply and the demand in the market, while making sure that the whole transaction process is seamless. So you can treat this as a one-stop solution for you to sell.
If I want to sell my car, is it possible that I can sell it within a day or hours?
Yes, yes. Within the same day, you bring the car in, everything is done. Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. What about the price? I mean, would make my price, lower than the average rate?
Definitely not, right. So the pricing standard that we have set is on a nationwide basis, which means you'll be able to get a price from the dealers through our platform. So what it means is you have thousands of dealers logging into our platform and trying to make an offer to your car, which the highest one would be able to we in turn give it to you. So, and our fees are coming from the dealers, which means we don't charge a single cent for you to sell a car to us. And that's where you truly benefit from getting the transparency and being in control, right, when it comes to selling. Yeah.
Wow, it's almost like 24 hours work of mine for your side, because constantly thinking, right? So talking about that, how do you balance your life, your work? How do you define an optimal life in your own version, personal life, professional life? How do you balance the both?
So personal life, again, I'm very goal oriented. So which means I try to set goals for things that I'm doing, so that I make sure that I live. I mean, the idea is very simple: to really live the life at the fullest, right? As the way you intend it, you think you want it to be, right? And I think once setting that very clear needs and wants, like what do you want to achieve and all, in you can break it down to multiple categories, like your personal life, your family, spiritually, and
Right.
your work, right? So and then from then you ask yourself the questions, right? And then you work towards that. And I think that's how you try to live an optimal life, and on a personal level, right? I think professionally is I think I learned to really share, the work together with the team. And what it means is you have like a dedicated team, right, that is trying to help you achieve the same goal. And it's important to be equally passionate as well, right? Like for example, if you're playing football, you have someone who is trying to score a goal, the other one is trying to not get a goal score from the other side, right? So it's the same, right? You have that dedicated team, just want to get something done, win the match, and at the same time trying to reach that goal by doing what you think you could contribute. And I think professionally, that's where I find that is the most optimal level, because everyone believe in the same thing, doing the same thing, and to get it started, you have to make everyone believe in it.
So maybe you can tell us how your usual day looks like, and potentially share any productivity, efficiency advice. Because everybody's busy, especially for CEO. I mean, seriously. So yeah, what's your usual day looks like? Without the work and everything. Do you play football a lot?
Uh, I don't play that much football. Futsal maybe.
Oh,
and exercise, gym sometimes. I think those are the things that I try to do at least once, if not, usually I have once or twice in a week, right? But the usual work day usually start off with, if there's no meetings, right, in a very early morning, it started with some reading on the latest news, the updates within the industry, or if not globally, right? So I think I do one exercise, very very funny exercise where I would think of a few keywords that I'm trying to understand, and then go on to Google and try to search for information on those. And sometimes you find it very surprising when they'll come back with some latest update, latest news about this. If let's say you Google a brand name or company, then you find something new every day. That's something that I do. I still do even now, right? But I think a lot of the time has been spent on doing meetings, trying to engage with the people in the team, and in each and every country as well. And I think towards the end of the day, apart from really winding down, to really think back, right, if you have done or missed anything out, or the to-dos that you think in the next few days you want to make sure that they are achieved, and kind of try to think and note it down so that you don't forget it. I think that's most of the daily work life looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, between balancing work and personal life, one said, optimal living can be said to achieved when we can fulfill our needs and our wants. So one of the ways is to become financially independent. Based on your experience, how did you start to have your financial freedom?
I think it's important to kind of start off with what you really believe in, right? That you want to do, and I think that extends to your work as well, right? Because at the same time, once you are aware of the things that you are trying to achieve, trying to get, including financial freedom, then you start to kind of map your way back to the starting point to see how you're trying to fulfill every bit and pieces of this, and it's the same way as you, when we start a company, like you're trying to build a business that give a service or a product that make people a lot better, a lot happier. But at the same time, that business has to be able to monetize. You're able to build it as a business, not just for doing something that make people feel good, right? So how to find that balance at the same time is something that I feel that would help you achieve that financial freedom at the same time as well. And it's definitely a lot harder than you would think how it can be done, right? How easy it can be done. It's just usually very hard, and that's why that freedom it becomes a lot more quality, right? To obtain, the satisfaction is there. But I think starting off with understanding what you're trying to do and try to stick on it, eventually as you achieve the results, right? Financial freedom would definitely come as part of the package as well.
Yeah. So, along the way, while you're trying to pursuing your financial freedom, right, you got to deal with stress and big challenges. So how do you deal with your stress, with, your nightmares in terms of your businesses, are all the obstacles?
Try to think of it as, part of the process. It doesn't, I mean, whatever you do, easy or hard, there's always stress, right? I think the stress the stress level is actually the same, whether it's easy or hard. You find it very amusing that stress is stress. So ultimately, is you just need to recognize it and recognize it as part of the path, right? That you need to experience to get to the end goal. I mean, if you could embrace it, if not, share the burden with some of your close friends or with your partners, with the people in your team. Knowing that you're not alone is important. And I think that stress actually can be navigated through. It's always just part of, the process. It's not everything. And that's how I've been managing the stress that I face in the business or personally as well in my life.
So what gets you out of bed in the morning? What keeps you up at night?
So firstly is the alarm. It keeps me awake at the right time. But I think after a while is really just feeling energetic, right, about the things that you're gonna do, right? If you don't feel energetic, then something is going to be wrong, and you don't feel like waking up at all. I know. So that's the first point I always try to make when it comes to doing something that you like, right, or that you can see yourself committed into. I think usually what keeps me up at night is the probably the
Don't tell me
comment.
football.
Sorry.
Don't tell me football. Don't tell me football.
No. Not football. Not football. Maybe sometimes. But yeah, I think a lot of about it. Nothing is perfect, right? Like as much as I'm trying to tell you the business deliver this one-stop solution and all, there are always times where we under-deliver, and there's always times that certain internal staff also under-deliver on certain goals that is deeply needed in a timely manner. So I think some of these things sometimes come into the picture, especially when you completed your day to day, and now it's time for you to take a rest, right? But that sort of just keeps you up and trying to see how you can actually do it better. And I think it's important to kind of review always, right? And I usually take that time to review, which sometimes would extend the time that I should go to sleep. But it's well worth still. Yeah.
Right. So we've been talking about business, about personal life, about optimal living. It's so matchy with the campaign of Danamon, which is optimal living. But now we're gonna light it up a little bit, and we're gonna go to the lightning round section. Are you ready?
Cool. Yeah, I'll try.
10 random questions. It's just so relaxed and easy breezy. Are you ready? Eric Cheng.
All right. Let's go.
All right, number 1. Go to bed without my phone. Go to bed with my phone.
Without my phone.
Wow. All right, number 2. Learn the basics or find the mentor.
I think find a mentor, learn the basic, and then learn the best, and then find a mentor.
All of it. Okay. Number right.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10. How good of a driver are you?
9.5.
What about in
Pretty
Jakarta?
good.
Have you tried driving in Jakarta?
No, I think that instantly dropped to maybe 5. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So number 4. What is your hidden talent?
My hidden talent is being really creative with voices, cartoon characters, and all.
Really? Please, can you show us a little bit?
Let me try to think of one. I can't think of too many right now. But if you ever open the Line app or notification, you have that Line. Yeah, so it could be part of it. Yeah.
All right. So, which one do you prefer? Bungee jumping or diving?
Diving. Yeah, I'm afraid of heights, so diving is better.
All right. 7-seaters car or 4-seaters car?
4-seaters enough.
All right. Okay, number 7. When you read a men's magazine, which section do you read first? Style, automotive, or sports?
I think right now automotive. Yeah.
All right. Number 8. When it comes to love, which one do you prefer? No strings attached kind of friend zone or long distance relationship?
Long distance, I guess. Yeah.
Really? Wow, faithful man.
Always.
Okay, number 9. Optimizing insurance or optimizing savings?
I really believe in insurance, so it's optimizing insurance for me. Yeah.
Number 10. Okay, these bad boys have been attracting women, okay? So which one do you think the best car to attract girls with? Powerful truck like, Jeep Wrangler, Rubicon, or sports car like the Lexus LC500?
I think sports cars sports cars.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, I saw this poll from the US. It said
Okay.
they love the truck. The
Oh,
girls.
really? Okay. That's why I can't pick up any girls. I think that's the problem.
Thank you, Eric Cheng. It
Thank you
was
so
a
much, dear.
fun and rapid lightning round, but we're gonna have a bunch of Q&As from the audience.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, if you have any questions, you can just type it. Okay, now we have it. Tools or framework you like the most, personal or professionally, to optimize your time and task management. Okay, you can read.
Yeah, I'm a very basic person on this, I guess. So I use a lot of Google Calendar, or if not, my calendar on the phone, just kind of set up things that you want to do and label it as, say I need to deep dive into my numbers today, or if not next day, I need to get something checked or whatnot. So it's kind of organized in the calendar format, and you could use any calendar that you like the most, right? But I keep it simple just to use Google Calendar, or if not, my phone's calendar.
Okay. So next question, please. Are you an OS person or Android person?
I have been OS, so Apple. So yeah.
Okay. The second question: how do you convince your new user that buying used car can optimize your life better than always buying new car? Okay. So yeah, how do you convince them?
So I think the way you position car is always represents mobility. That's one, and two, the flexibility, right, for you to just get to anywhere the moment you want to. And I think what used car would deliver a better optimal life in is the cost factor, right, which is something that when looked at used car is always a lot more superior to new cars because it's affordable options and all. So I think for other markets like in US and all, you will always already see that quality used cars, right, in the market, no doubt. And there's no reason to not believe into the car condition at all. But over here, that is something that usually has always been an issue with the transparency, which is what we are trying to deliver, right? And the moment you deliver that, then that cost coming into the picture, that's going to be a lot more superior than buying a new car.
Couldn't agree more. Is there any more question? Okay. What kind of new opportunities did you find during pandemic situation that give a good impact to Carsome?
Yeah. So that whole private vehicle ownership has been rising, right, across the market that we have that we're in. And we see that trend continue to hold true, right, throughout the end of last year and even beginning of this year. So our momentum has been increasing, growth has been increasing. I think the other factors that we've seen is the digitalization across a lot of different economic sectors. And we are, on the used car side, we are one of those that benefit from being digitalized a lot more compared to before. And there's a lot of studies that you have seen that most sectors now has turned to online, including the consumers as well. So I think that's one way that we have seen so far with new opportunities, and hence the launch of our B2C in the markets they were in as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is there any more? Okay, in building the company, do you prefer to hire more experienced people or invest in more technology first?
Yeah, so there was a point where I tried to hire more experienced people. And there was a point also we invest in more technology first type of approach. But I think in the end, in the past 12 to 18 months, we have, finally landed at one point that we believe in, which in the end, people represent the company that you have seen in the market, including the technology as well. So I think it's important to kind of invest in the people that you have to deliver, whether it's a technology first company or whether it's a company that believe in a different thing. But a lot of it have to come through that bunch of people, the team of people that has to share the same vision, the same chemistry, which is how I would see building a company. It starts with the group of people who share the belief, right? Share the chemistry, and then you have a lot of those turn into making a lot more efficient, whether it's through technology or through other means of channel.
But in your industry, it requires a lot of technicality in people, right? They need to be like good engineers and everything. So how is the hiring process for your people who inspect the cars and all kinds of that?
Yeah. So we set out the inspection standard after the first and second year, right? And I think that allowed us to kind of qualify the people when it comes to being technicians in the business. And it's a lot more important after we engage with these people in the company, and we understand that in the market, because workshops are typically not your branded ones or franchise workshops where they're mostly independent, which means there's really no strong career path to build, right, when it comes to being a technician in the market. And then we see that as a problem in the industry, and we want to make it a lot more professional in the sense where you can actually build a career being a technician in the Carsome business, right?
Wow.
So yeah, and I think that helps drive those people to do a lot more than what they thought they could be doing. Instead of just inspecting cars on a day-to-day basis, but in fact they can actually start to coach people, manage a team, build up or manage the entire branch or an area as well at the same time, and being able to digitalize. Part of the workflow right now include using the applications that we enable them to use. And it's funny, right? It was actually hard to educate the technicians to use an app to check a car instead of checking with their bare hands, right? So they're used to bare hands, but now they are digitalizing in part of their workflow to that. And you can see the improvement, right, in accuracy, improvement in the quality delivery as well. So yeah,
the workshop creates a lot of opportunities for them. It's really great. So how do you see the future of used car industry in 2021?
Very bright. I think used car industry will continue to be climbing up and exceeding the growth that we have seen in the last year. Partly because I think pandemic isn't going to go away anytime soon, and I think with us trying to instill that trust element in the market, that would help people to get the mobility up with a more affordable option. So I think overall as an industry, 2021 will be a good year for us.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your time and experiences with us, Eric Cheng, co-founder and CEO of Carsome. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping only the best for you in your business. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
Likewise. And for you, Danamon Optimal customers, don't miss the next Danamon LiveOptimal seminar series. We are very fortunate to have a wide range of speakers from all sectors. It is our collective efforts and thoughts on best practice that will bring us closer to resolving the important issues so that we can optimizing our lives through Danamon Optimal. #Optimalkan hidupmu. I am Dea Pranatania. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.